Personally, I have a lot of dream reptiles that one day I would love to own way down the line, but we're going to be talking about my top 5 personal reptile species that I, for one day would love to own. Stick around. My name is Nick Pulaski. Growing up, I have always had a passion for wildlife, and with that passion, along with my passion of filmmaking, I get taken on some amazing adventures creating wildlife content, getting up close with a variety of incredible animals. So come follow along as I pursue my goals of educating, inspiring, exploring, and conserving wildlife, all while having fun, seeing the beauty in our natural world. Hey, what is going on, everyone? Thank you so much for joining me here today. I am joined by Wally, my amazing, beautiful Woma python right here. And as you guys know, I have always loved Woma pythons. It was a dream species personally for me to one day own one of these guys, and to finally be able to do that was a dream come true. And I'm so excited to be working with these guys and even potentially breeding these guys. Fingers crossed that we do get some potential locks from this boy right here with some of the girls, so I am super stoked about that. But today what we're going to be talking about is personally the dream reptiles that we would love to one day own. The species of reptiles out there, there is so many out there, that's for sure. And in the comments below, I would love to hear what your personal preferences and dream species that you would one day love to work with are. And it's cool because throughout the years of doing this, they have definitely changed for me overall. I mean, there are some species that have stuck, and there are new species out there that I personally would love to own as well too. So there are different things out there for everyone. Obviously, this isn't something that I'm going to immediately do like right now in the next month or two, or even within the next year. I'm not going to just go out and acquire these animals. There's no possible way. It's just impractical. But I mean, it's just one of those pipe dreams. Just be, if all the cards play out right, that I could potentially own these animals in the future. I think it would be really fun and really exciting and rewarding for sure if I was able to take on the responsibility of some of these animals, because some of these animals are large-term commitments, that's for sure. But again, guys, play along with me. I want to hear from you guys in the comments what your favorite dream species are that you would one day want to own reptile-wise. I would love to hear it. First on my top 5 list has to be the spiny tail iguanas. So whether it's going to be the banana pectinata or the pied pectinatas, I love the spiny tailed iguanas. So it's just a really cool species for me personally. I love the look of them. I know they can be a little bit cantankerous and a little bit more flighty compared to some, but I mean, I think that is just something in terms of iguana behavior. You really just got to work with these animals. You know, it's definitely something that you just got to work with these animals and build that bond and relationship with these animals and build that trust with these animals. It's definitely something that's tangible and doable, and one day for sure something that I would love to work with. Not to mention just the beauty alone of these animals is something very admirable, but you can't just base it off looks, right? Like I said, these guys are hardcore things to work with for sure, and you want to make sure you're giving them the utmost care, providing the utmost space for these animals, the best diet for these animals, and making sure that you are doing that hands-on working with these animals to build that bond and relationship with those animals so they can trust you. Otherwise, it's not going to get pretty as they get older for sure. You can take some nasty bites or scratches or whatever from these guys, even tail whips from these guys. One of those things is you 110% want to make sure that you have all your bases covered before even owning one of them. So definitely something on my dream bucket list, but definitely not on the cards for anywhere near in the future for sure. Also wouldn't be opposed for just simply a rhino iguana. Rhino iguanas are also something that take the cake. So one of those iguana species I definitely think is something really cool for sure. And after working with a couple different rhino iguanas and having experiences with them, they are just so cool and personable as well. So I kind of have to just kind of tie them all together as one conjoined group in terms of iguanas that I would personally want to own in the future. The next I would probably say is probably an emerald tree boa of some sort. I think they are really beautiful. I've always been debating between green tree python or emerald tree boa, and honestly I think it just kind of fluctuates between the two. But I know my first love was an emerald tree boa that I personally would always see at the zoo, and fell in love with that animal. And seeing some of my friends' personal collections that they own as well, they're just really stunning for sure, and I love them. I think they're just gorgeous. Don't get me wrong, love green tree pythons, but I think just when I put them side by side, me personally, I think I really kind of lean towards the emeralds a little bit more, at least right now. I mean, that can always change, but I really am someone that really wants a really nice arboreal setup for a emerald tree boa or a green tree python one day, but I'm more so leaning towards an emerald tree boa. Definitely something really cool for sure. The next on my list is a larger species of colubrid, and that is the yellow-tailed crebo. I am obsessed with that species for sure. It's definitely something that is so cool. I've been so tempted in the past to get into them, and thankfully I didn't get into them when I was thinking of considering getting one. It's one of those things where they are a huge commitment for sure, and I definitely would love to be up for it in the future, but it's just not in the cards right now. They are just one of those species that you just have to appreciate, guys, and I know a lot of people have been getting more interest into them, and I definitely think that's a great thing. They are definitely underappreciated for sure, but they are definitely a bigger species of colubrid that you definitely have to make sure you are capable of taking care of. Very intelligent, very cool, and I love that about them. And hopefully one day I would own a few of them. I definitely think that is something that I would not be opposed of whatsoever. But again, in the future, definitely am glad that I did not pick up on a whole bunch of them like I was going to a few years ago, but that is definitely something in the future for sure. The next species I want to talk about is the Aldabra tortoise. I know that is a ginormous tortoise for sure, and is definitely something that I have always been thinking about always. I think they're just so incredible, and I have to have a ton of space for these guys. I'm talking probably triple the size of this room just for that tortoise species alone, that I would love to just give that animal all the space in the world and just be able to socialize with the animal. I love my tortoises. I love socializing with them, but it is definitely one of those long-term commitments that is going to outlive me, and I want to make sure that that animal is always given the utmost care possible for sure. Definitely a beautiful animal, definitely something I appreciate, but one day maybe. I mean, not to mention their price tag is extremely expensive, which kind of makes it a no-brainer, because if you're going to make that lifelong commitment to such an animal, it comes with the heavy prices for sure. So we want to make sure we're doing the best for these animals, and I think that's really proper to give it such a price tag for sure for such an incredible animal. Top 5 video, I'm trying to count in my head what I'm at right now. So we already did the iguana species, we already did the emerald tree boa, we already did the crebos, and we also did the aldabra. So the 5th one that I want to go over, and is probably the biggest dream reptile that I personally want to own, is closely related to these guys right here. So the black-headed python. I am obsessed with them. I think they're so stunning as a subspecies to the Aspidites of these guys right here. I think they are just incredible. I love black-headed pythons. I think they are just gorgeous, and I have always been obsessed with them ever since I saw them, even at my first Tinley, and even before then when I saw them on TV when Steve Irwin was playing with them and everything, and seeing them in books. I thought they were just so stunning with that dipped in ink black head, and then to finally get my hands on one from Jason Hood and just hold that thing at my first Tinley ever was incredible. I can't get over that moment. It was definitely a highlight for me, and ever since then I have been chasing that snake. And I think if anything, out of all these animals that I'm talking about and listing, I think that would be the animal that I would be nearest to potentially getting if the opportunity arose. I would definitely want a black-headed python for sure. I think they are just absolutely stunning, and I don't know, they've always just kind of piqued my interest. I mean, I just am obsessed with the Woma pythons, and to have also a black-headed python, best of both worlds for me, hands down, and I would really love the opportunity at that for sure. So yeah, there's my top 5 list right there, but you know what, I didn't want to leave with just the top 5. There's another one that came to mind too for me that I personally also would love to get into, and nearly have in the past years as well too. When I've been given the offer, I was probably about 99% there from pulling the trigger on it. And again, something that I knew that I am so happy about in hindsight for not getting. Just in the moment, it just wasn't going to play out as well in the cards, and I wasn't going to give them the utmost justice that I could have, and that's the thing that backed me out of these sales at the end of the day. And this species is something that I've always had a piqued interest in as well, so I'm going to give you guys this bonus entry at number 6 in my top 5 list here, and that is the elongated tortoise. Beautiful species of tortoises from Asia, and I think they are incredible. Just beautiful looking as well too. I love the shell patterning on these guys, their faces, everything about these tortoises are just stunning. You can keep them a little bit more higher in humidity and wet, and they definitely have similar traits, I would say, to a redfoot tortoise as well too, in terms of their diet and needs and stuff. And you know I love my redfoot tortoises, and that is definitely something that I personally would love to keep one day and have a group of, as well as the elongated tortoises. So definitely had the opportunities in the past to get on these guys. Happy I didn't get onto them and didn't impulsively get those guys, because I just want to make sure, no matter what these animals are, the dream reptiles that we try to own, I want to make sure I'm giving it the utmost care that I possibly can. And I knew just in that moment I wasn't fully able to do that, so I didn't jump and pull the trigger on those animals. And that's how it should be. No matter the species, as simple as a corn snake up to an Aldabra tortoise, you want to make sure that you have the ability to make sure that you can take care of any species of reptile 110% and give it the best quality of life possible. And that's, at the end of the day, what we should be doing. I mean, it's great to make dreams and goals of things that we want to personally keep, but you have to be practical at the end of the day too. Don't just keep something just to keep it. You want to make sure that you are keeping it to appreciate and care for it and all of its needs. And that's the important thing that we need to make sure that we're covering as well. Isn't that right, Wally? We want to make sure we're nice, happy, and healthy like you are. Do right for the animal, do right for the hobby, and be a responsible keeper. That's what I challenge you guys on. Again, I want to hear from you guys. What is your dream species of reptiles that you personally would love to keep one day? Leave those down in the comments as well. I would appreciate it. I love brainstorming and hearing other people's species. Maybe some species I personally never even heard of. So I would love to hear some of your unique ones as well too. So leave those down below so all of us can check them out as well. As always, guys, I appreciate you guys from tuning in today. Really means the world to me. If you guys could do me a few favors, if you could like this video, subscribe to the channel, I would greatly appreciate it, as well as hit that notification bell so you know when I upload. And also definitely make sure to check us out on our social medias as well too. We're having so much fun over there, so definitely check us out over there on our social medias. As always, guys, appreciate you guys for coming along on the video today. Truly means the world to me. And until next time, we will see you guys soon. Take care.